Sourcing and reselling products from China is for many a lucrative business. So if you're already sourcing products from China for your company, or want to start your own side business selling items on Amazon or other e-commerce sites, then this video's for you. Many people are put off by sourcing products from China because they've heard of bad experiences, or they simply don't know where to start. So stay tuned, because if other people are making good money doing it, so can you. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1, know your business. Before we can get to any other operational aspects about sourcing from China, you must first ask yourself, what type of business do you want to be? Do you want to sell OEM or private label products, or do you want to develop a totally new product? Where do you want to sell your products? On Amazon or other e-commerce platforms, on your website, or do you want to sell in real brick-or-mortar stores, or form a distribution network and sell to chain retailers or supermarkets? What are your goals and your targets? Who's your competition? What amounts of money do you want to be rolling every month? Who are your target customers? This is an important aspect that many overlook, because once you've answered yourself these questions, then you can form your strategy for sourcing, and you'll know what kind of suppliers best fit your needs, what channels to use for sourcing products, as well as your operational and sales strategies. If you'd like us to elaborate more on this, please let us know in the comments below, and if there's enough interest, we'll make a video about it. Number 2, finding suppliers for your products. As we said earlier, your sourcing channels should depend on where you want to situate your business. If you just want to start an e-commerce business to earn some extra bucks in your spare time, sourcing ready-to-order or OEM products is fine. Some of the websites many use for this are Alibaba.com, Global Sources, or MadeInChina.com, or even 1688.com, the Chinese version of Alibaba. However, this is a bit more complicated as the website is in Chinese and sellers don't speak English and deliver only in China. So you'd need the help of an agent to help you pay, receive, and ship you the products. If you have a new concept for a product that hasn't been done before, or you want to start a serious business like a brand, selling products offline or online, you can't rely on Alibaba or any of the other websites we mentioned earlier. Big brands or corporations have their own sourcing offices in China. For many small to medium businesses, this might be too expensive for the amount of products they're moving, so they often use services of a sourcing agent. Besides being in China and having more knowledge and access to more resources when it comes to finding suppliers, a long-term partnership with a purchasing agent is key to having a healthy supply chain. A sourcing agent is like having an extension of your company in China because they can solve many things for you, from assuring product quality to consolidating shipments, keeping delivery schedules, and more. For more info on this, feel free to watch some more of our videos on the topic. Number 3, order samples. Many of you probably know this, but there's more to it than that. Don't cheap out and make sure you always order samples if you want to be running a successful business. Samples are your main weapon in case your supplier doesn't deliver what you've agreed upon. If the end product doesn't match the sample, you've got a problem. One big misconception some people have is thinking that samples are free. If you don't need to customize your product, many suppliers of small, cheaper products will send you a free sample, provided that you pay for shipping. If you're ordering a customized product, any supplier all over the world will charge for this, especially for new customers. Samples do cost money and time to make, and after you've ordered a certain amount of that product, your sample fee will be refunded to you by the supplier. One good piece of advice for everyone, especially those new to international trade, is never freak out when a supplier asks for a sample fee. This is very normal, and a lot of times a sample might cost from 2 to 20 times the normal retail value. Think about it from the supplier's perspective. They might get hundreds or thousands of sample requests every month. Whether the supplier chooses to provide them for free or not, samples do cost money. Sample fees are also a way for suppliers to filter out serious buyers from superficial ones. When you freak out about a sample fee, you're basically telling the salesperson that you don't have any business background and not to waste any more time on you. And to be honest, if paying up front for samples is something that gives you anxiety, maybe international trade is not for you. Of course, the same as you do when looking for suppliers, do your research and proceed with sample orders after you're ready. Number 4, if it's too good to be true, it isn't. This is a valid point in life in general, but we have seen many businesses brought to their knees and even bankrupt from thinking they stumbled across a great bargain. If a supplier gives you an incredibly low price that you can't find anywhere else, then they're probably trying to scam you. They may come up with explanations like, "We've had them in stock for a while and we want to get rid of them," or "We bought the materials when prices were cheap," or "Another customer rejected them, but they're fine," As is recommended with any new supplier, always send someone on site to inspect them, and definitely make sure someone checks the goods before making any payments. Just to name a common example, many entrepreneurs went bankrupt because they thought they were getting the deal of their life sourcing USB drives or memory sticks or memory cards from Alibaba. The cards were supposed to be of a certain capacity of, let's say, 64 or 128 gigabytes, just to give an example. When plugged into a device or computer, it would show as being a storage drive of said capacity. When trying to copy a few pictures or small files, everything seems fine. The problem becomes apparent only after trying to copy more files or files of a greater size. They're formatted so that they show the fake capacity when plugged into a computer or other device, but physically their capacity is only 100 or 200 megabytes, so after exceeding that capacity, an error occurs and the transfer fails. There are ways to check for this, so no matter what, always make sure you send a third party to check your goods before making any payments. If you like our tips so far and want us to make more of these videos, please hit that like button, and if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to stay in the loop with all the useful content we make. Your likes and comments are the motivation we need to keep making these videos. Number 5. Think big or stay small. This is a valid tip in business in general, but we'll explain how to implement this when sourcing from China. The reason we told you to ask yourself in which bracket you see your business and what your goals are is to determine whether sourcing from China is for you or not. If you just want to start it as a side gig, just ride with it and have something to do in your spare time, that's great, but that's how it will always stay. If you want to earn some significant income or build it into a successful business, you should know that as with any other business, you need to dedicate time, take risks, and be persistent. Whether your end market is the US, Europe, or any other part of the world, the reality is China is half a world away. Shipping is going to be one of your biggest costs. If you have some metrics of your sales volumes each month, try to make predictions and prepare ahead. For example, if every month you move goods that take up about a quarter of a container, why not try to consolidate and order 4 months' worth of products at once? This is just a hypothetical example, and we know that for many businesses this poses many challenges like cash flow issues and bigger risks. If preparing ahead doesn't pose a significant risk for your cash flow, and you're at the point in your business where you can predict your sales volumes and stockpiling products isn't too big of a risk, consolidating orders is the smartest thing to do. First of all, the savings on freight costs will add a significant amount to your profits, and besides this, you'll also save on production. When it comes to customized products, the higher the quantities, the lower the cost per product. For product packaging, for example, manufacturing 300 custom boxes may end up costing almost the same per total as making 1,000, because for each manufacturing process there are minimum setup costs, and there's a set amount of waste being produced no matter how big or small the print run is. Second of all, having enough products in stock can bring you advantages over your competition. We've all seen significant disruptions to international trade this year alone, like shipping delays, container shortages due to the pandemic, spikes in shipping rates as we've never seen before. Even though you're not quite at the point where you can estimate your sales volume, or stocking up with products won't affect your cash flow, look at your options. When asking for price quotations, have your suppliers quote for different quantities. See the difference in price if you want to order 500 units versus 1,000 units or 5,000 units. And even if you're not quite there yet, still get some idea on how you could optimize your profit margins in the future. Be realistic, though. Don't ask your supplier a quote for 100,000 units of a product if you know you can't afford it. If they can tell that you're bluffing, they might phase you out, because in business, no one wants to waste time. We know this video's been a bit long, but another very important tip is to know how to pay your Chinese suppliers, so we'll be focusing on that in a future video. Till next time, stay healthy, keep on trying, and as always, thank you for watching.